been frozen out.
Facing an extinction level event.
We don't fight this fight right now, you're not going to have black-owned media. All right, folks. So yesterday on the show, we had Congressman Hank Johnson on, and we were talking about his letter that he sent to President Joe Biden with regards to the lack of advertising dollars that black-owned media has been getting from the federal government. In 2018, then Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes Norton had the GAO commission a study at the behest of NNPA, the National Newspaper Publishers Association, also known as the Black Press. And what that study reveals that in 5 years, when Obama was president and Biden was vice president, $5 billion had been spent on advertising from the federal government, and black-owned media got $51 million out of the $5 billion. Now, you heard me talk about that. 38 of the 56 CBC members signed the letter. I had a conversation last night with a member who said that all the members did not see it, did not actually see the letter in order to sign it. So don't let that number be reflective of how they stand on this. Now remember, Hank Johnson also told us, Congressman Hank Johnson told us on yesterday that this issue came up in their meeting with the White House. I was told by another CBC member it absolutely came up, and that was a vigorous discussion about it in terms of doing better. And so, y'all know I don't play games. I told you I had to call out Young and Rubicam just for us to get 1 month's worth of money from dealing with the census, which is $250,000. We had put in a proposal in April of 2020 and never heard from them until I called them out on the air, and then they responded. See, we got to cuss folk out, yell, holler, scream, just to get them to actually respond to us. And so that thing keeps happening. Now, I need y'all to understand that in October and November, I was talking to CBC members and talking to Biden campaign folks saying, look, y'all win this thing, here's the deal. Billions are gonna be spent on COVID trying to reach people on television and radio commercials and print ads and events. We need to ensure that we don't get locked out. I can tell you right now, we submitted a proposal to to advertising agency called Forrest Marsh, FORSMARSH, where at the time they nearly had an all-white board. If y'all go there now, it's amazing how much color's now on there. Ain't no shock after we put them on blast because they saw what was coming. And so they got the ad contracts for about 20 plus different federal agencies. Well, they had a black consultant who they hired, not a black ad agency, a black consultant. And so she was telling us, oh, we got this, we got that, oh, we're gonna do this here. So we submitted a $2 million proposal. Oh, I don't know if I can get that passed. And so then we broke it down to 4 different phases, 500,000 each. Then all of a sudden, oh, we're launching a new phase in 60 days. Well, we wait, we don't hear back. I call her, I text her, I email her, she doesn't respond. I call her, email her, and text her again, she doesn't respond. Then finally she responds, and then it's like, oh, yeah, I saw your email. Yeah, I'm at dinner. That was literally her response. So then I said, well, finally, I then sent an email to the company. So then one of her bosses got on the phone. And so then she hits back, well, basically, all the money been spent. Now, ain't that something? You take us through all that. We waste time, put a proposal together, and then some 90 days later, oh, sorry, all the money been spent. And admitted to us that they threw the money out hoping to see what stuck, as opposed to having literally said to us, me and my man Todd Brown, Black Urban Edge Network, they handle my sales stuff, sent us on the phone, yeah, we need a more targeted approach, which is what we presented. So y'all might be asking, okay, Roland, why is this important? I brought 2 books, y'all, 2 books. Switch right here to camera 7. This book right here by Gerald Horne, okay? It's called The Rise and Fall of the Associated Negro Press, Claude Barnett's Pan-African News, and the Jim Crow Paradox. It is by Gerald Horne. Y'all can tell I've been reading this book, how beat up it is. I got a clean copy somewhere, but this is the one that I actually read. Now, when you read this particular book here, folks, if you read this book, what you'll discover is that when you're reading this book, how there were African Americans who traveled all across the world, many of them writing for free for Claude Barnett. They would send their dispatches back. They would send their reports back. And And so what he would do is they would actually put together a compilation of clips and then send that packet to newspapers all across the country. There were a lot of mainstream papers that were interested in their coverage because he also was tapping into black entertainers who were traveling across the globe and who were then sending back reports. So when you had World War II going on, the Korean War, you had black people who were there who were covering those very issues, who would then send the information back to the black newspapers. Here's his next book. It's by Ethan McKaylee. It is called The Defender: How the Legendary Black Newspaper Changed America. Ethan McKaylee. When you read this book, you will discover there were people like Ethel Payne who was sent abroad to cover the war. What you will discover in reading this book, that black newspapers were covering the racism that black soldiers were facing during World War II. And that also during World War I, there was a campaign that was created by the Pittsburgh Courier. It was called the Double V campaign: victory at home, victory abroad, and victory at home. They said, we're gonna fight fascism across the world, we're gonna fight racism in the United States. Well, let me tell y'all how effective the black newspapers were. Because they were literally writing stories from black soldiers regarding the racism they were facing. At one point, there was an official of President FDR who wanted to actually have the black newspapers shut down and tried for treason because they said they were stirring up the black soldiers. Why? Because they were writing about the racism that black soldiers were facing. The black newspapers, folks there for the Pittsburgh Courier, for the Chicago Defender, for Claude Barnett's Associated Negro Press, they were actually there on the ground in these countries covering the war. So you might say, all right, Roland, what? Okay, I don't know what's the big deal. Okay, Mustafa is an environmental expert. If Mustafa is trying to talk about environmental racism and environmental justice across America, let me be as honest as possible. He is not going to be talking to black-owned media with reporters on the ground. You know why? Because we can't afford somebody who only writes about environmental racism. Can't do it. Money's not there. You know why? Because we're frozen out of the other money. DeMario talks about justice for Greenwood and a lot of his cases. Well, here's the deal. When they had a rally, when they had the hearing there in Tulsa, fighting for reparations for the Tulsa descendants, DeMario was like, man, it'd be great if you could be here. Couldn't be there. Couldn't hop on a plane. Couldn't fly down. Couldn't be there to cover that. So I got to be judicious about what we travel to and what we cover. Because guess what? We're footing the bill ourselves. And the ad dollars are not coming in. So what we continually hear from people is they say, well, man, why ain't y'all covering this? Teresa, I literally had somebody tweet me mad. All I see you covering all these cases about police brutality in the big cities, not the small towns. I said, how in the hell do you think I, as one person, can cover every story of some black person being beat by a cop? Because you know what? We don't have 4 or 5 people who are on the police brutality beat. We don't have that. When the New York Times can throw 8, 10, 12, 15 reporters on a story, do a project for 3 or 6 months, no black-owned media outlet in America can do that. It's simply the money isn't there. And so, folks, when you hear me ask you to respond to stuff, then you understand that. Then you get it. And see, we also have got to understand, follow the money. I just told y'all in the last segment how, in terms of how we look at some of these things and what we respond to. And in fact, I'm gonna do this here. Let me go back to my computer because I want y'all to understand what I'm talking about here. Just the other day, I posted something on my Instagram page and it was very interesting, DeMario, Teresa, and Mustafa. And people have heard me say this way too many times. And when they've heard me say, Anthony, I need you to turn that monitor around so I can see. It's very interesting when I've heard people talk about these things, and they heard me bring these things up. And they heard me, well, here's a perfect example. This was a story that I posted on my social media account. It said Netflix paid Coodie and Chike $30 million for the Kanye West footage. Now, I posted this just as a way of joking with the comedians who are always messing with me about having my cameras around. He said, man, you always got cameras. So I posted this item here. So, folks, I want y'all to take a look at it. Take a look at it. So this is people responded to it. Now, this post got, listen, it was a small video post. It got 134,169 views, and it got 539 comments. Not a problem. Not a problem, okay? All right, come back. Now, if I go through here, and then begin, let's see here. Let me find another segment that we post. Looks like, we didn't post the Hank Johnson segment. Oh, no, check this out. So I posted the Hank Johnson letter on my social media account. And I was talking about the lack of ad dollars that we get in the community. That post got 1,034 likes, 40 comments. What am I saying here? What I'm saying is this here. What I'm saying is, I'm going back to the position. What I'm saying here, folks, is that we are very good. You should be switching to the wide position. We are very good. We are very good, y'all. We're excellent at talking about, okay, switch it. We're excellent at commenting on other stuff. But when we start talking about millions and billions to black people, it's amazing how it doesn't quite get our attention. And I just think that a lot of us we focus on, not always mess, but we focus on the wrong things at times. And I'm just trying to get our people to understand here, when we're having these discussions, these things are interlinked, Teresa, and we've got to learn that when I'm posting about where's our money, the folk who we are targeting are looking at how many likes and comments it gets. But if I put up something about these two brothers, and I'm not dissing them, who got $30 million from their Kanye West documentary footage from Netflix, I'm glad they got 30 million. There's 322 billion that's being spent every year on advertising. So here I got 134,000 views on a post and nearly 600 comments about two brothers who got $30 million for their video, their film for the Kanye doc. But then when I'm over here talking about the federal government spending $1 billion every year, it gets 1,034 likes and 40 comments. Folk, you got to understand the money. Teresa?
Yeah, I think a lot of people just need to wake up. I go through the same thing. You know, through the pandemic, I've started a business corner for individuals who wanted to start a business. And I was very particular about where I made this monthly column and where it was getting posted. And part of it was because I didn't want people to have to pay or subscribe to any type of publication in order to get this type of free information. So I totally understand. So it's like when you're posting the information that can help save lives, get people out of their situation, help them understand the bigger picture, that's not real interesting to them because people are still going through their everyday problems. So I understand that. But what I don't understand is when we are, in so many cases, fighting for reparations and fighting for new money to come into some of these urban districts and communities, we're not looking at the reasons why the money is not being trickled down. And I think you made a really good point, Roland, about, having these segments about talking about the fight for economics, the fight that Black people has done throughout history in order for justice to actually prevail even in our favor, as we are still fighting for it today. So I think, having these conversations and doing what we are doing, again, it does take money, right, to report on certain things. It does take money to actually be present. but it also takes people who are willing, our people who are willing to be a part of that conversation, not just look and hit the like button, but literally reach out and say, what else can I do to support? Sometimes it's not financial. Maybe, it is just an extra arm in another city and, and essentially an outreach impact. But I think things can be done. It's just that people have to be willing to do it. And so if we keep doing it together, if you keep having thought leaders on different programs, obviously yours is one of them. I think we'll get there, but it's just seems like it's not getting there as fast.
But see, the Mario, and I know you know what I'm talking about. Here y'all out there in Tulsa, fighting for Greenwood, justice for Greenwood, and folk coming up to you, man, we need this, we need that, we need this in our community, we need that in our community, we need this. And then you say, bruh, we need 500 people at the city council meeting. Now, Doc, man, I got stuff to do. You cannot ask nor demand liberation if you're unwilling to fight for liberation. You can't sit here and holler, yell, and scream reparations, but then say, man, why you begging the white folks for money? I'm sorry, we're taxpayers. So, and then when somebody wants to talk to me, and I can tell them how we've gone through the process and got screwed going through the process, how does that begging? And so at some point, we are going to have to own up, DeMario, to our shit in this. How too many of us are silent, and we're allowing ourselves to laugh ourselves to death. We are so wrapped up in memes and trivial stuff and all kind of that. Yet when we're talking about trying to get to the billions, I'm talking about 322 billion that is being spent every day. When you see a Estee Lauder executive who made $9.6 million last year resign because of a racist meme, and I have yet to see Black civil rights organizations and others ask the question in the last week, hold up, Estee Lauder, were y'all even spending $9.6 million with Black-owned media? Folk ain't saying nothing. And so here's a perfect example. I put the deal out. Hank Johnson has sent the letter out. Went out Friday. I'm a look, but I'm waiting to see out of all these civil rights organizations, any of them following up, saying, where's the money? I'm telling you, bruh, this is America. If you do not get to the money, you are not going to deal with America.
That's facts, man, 100%. And you talked about, what we're talking about here, about asking for the money. When I used to represent professional athletes, I had a player who was a star at the Dallas Cowboys. And Jerry Jones said, hey, you know what it takes to be a good business person, salesperson in America? He says 3 things. Number 1, ask for the money. Number 2, ask for the money. Number 3, ask for the money. So Roland, you're right on point here. And I want to say that too many times, it is the exceptional Negroes that are stopping our community from moving forward and getting the money. What do I mean?
Hey, bro.
You talked about a young lady who was a Black consultant at this organization who was a gatekeeper. Who didn't want to make sure that the money came.
I can't tell you, DeMario.
I dealt with.
Hold up. No. I need you to repeat what you said and then continue, because folk just totally missed what you just said about exceptional Negroes and gatekeepers. Go repeat that again.
Well, yeah. I mean, we talk a lot about the community, folks, but I'm talking about what I call, quote unquote, the exceptional Negro, and I got a whole book I'm writing on that. about these individuals who get the opportunities that our people have fought for decades to provide. They get the opportunity because they look a certain way, but they think a different way. And I think yesterday, Dr. Malveaux said, just because you're brown don't mean you down. And these exceptional Negroes are really in the way. And we dealt with that so strongly during our reparations fight down here, still dealing with it, where you had the white power structure raise $30 million off our story, off our pain, off our destruction for their own pockets. And it was the exceptional Negroes that they put handpicked to be out front to protect them and ask us, I'm getting upset about this, getting pumped about this, because they wanted to chastise us because we asked for our portion of that money. We said that $30 million of raise, at least a third of that should be coming to our community. And over the money that's made on the museum that you built on the backs of our suffering, a third of that annual revenue should come to our community. And it was the exceptional Negroes that they put out front, the gatekeepers who said, how dare you ask Massa for a piece of this money? How dare you ask for more than what they already said they're going to give us? So we have to identify these exceptional Negroes, and we have to move them out the way so there can be good community-minded folks who wants to work on behalf of the community. It's okay for us to make money as professionals, those who've got education, degrees, and credentials. But if we're going to stop it from flowing down to Black organizations and Black community, then they need to be out the way, point blank, period.
Hey, look, first of all, y'all, we can go to straight church on that. Because, see, Mustafa, here's the thing, what DeMario just laid out. Bruh, we have been dealing with Black people who are in corporate America. My guys with Urban Edge Networks said they were on a call, and the white folks on the call had no problem with our proposal. No problem. Yet it was the Black folks by saying, well, Roland is somewhat controversial.
Absolutely.
Like,
Facts.
What? The Black folks on the call. Man, look, my guys told me they had a deal to do in-store displays with a grocery store. The white folks in the company, great idea, love it. The brother, who is the diversity person, he goes, we do enough for HBCUs, we good. And he's a HBCU graduate. You got Black people who are right now sitting on corporate boards asking nothing to the CEO. How much y'all spending with Black catering companies, Black transportation companies, Black flower shops, Black event planners, Black audio-visual companies, Black-owned media? First of all, you got on those boards because Black folks protested. Oh, but you got your stock options and you doing well and you ain't saying nothing. And that's why, and then, I don't know. And then asking, well, can there be outside groups that say something first, then I say something? Why your ass there? Why you there? Look, see, I need it, and see, this is what I need everybody to understand. Because, see, Mustafa, I already see they playbook. See, they already trying it. Well, Roland, you trying to get it for yourself. Nope. Because, see, I believe we all can eat. See this space here, this all. Switch to this shot. This is some other Black people, the exceptional Negro. Come on, y'all. Me. See, this is exceptional Negro. Just me. Switch. This is Roland. We all can eat. Y'all got faster. Come on now. This is the collective. We all can eat. The problem is we got too many people, they only want to be the ones who eat. And that's a fundamental issue that we're facing, and we got to be willing to challenge them. But the issue here is I need Black people who watch us, who look at us, to stop playing small ball, Mustafa. And again, when we comment on silly, trivial shit, I'm talking about 320, y'all listen to me, 322 billion that is being spent every year on media. Right now, Black-owned media gets 0.5%. Barely 100 million. Listen to me. Barely 100 million we're getting out of 322 billion. That means, listen, if we getting 100 million right now, that means that Black-owned media, it would take us 30 years to hit the number. But imagine if we got 10% on 322 billion. I need y'all, math ain't that hard. 10% of 322 billion is 32 billion. 32 billion. If Black-owned media got 32 billion, let's just say I got 5%, that's just me, of the 10%. Just 5. Just 5. That's it. Just 5. Do quick math, y'all. 32 times 18. Come on, do real quick math. 32 million. We're not talking about an excess of 50. Now all of a sudden, we're doing 50, 60 million a year. Now we don't have one floor. Now we have 3 or 4 floors. Now we have 100 staffers. Now we have reporters going across the country. No. But see, folk go, oh, but that's just you. But if we are getting 32 billion collectively, game changes, Mustafa, and that's what they are afraid of. The reason they are freezing us out of the money, because they know game changes. Because it's not just that we hire reporters. We now can contribute greater to HBCUs. We can now give our own money to civil rights organizations fighting our own behalf. We can now actually create larger Black law firms that represent us. We can actually now have Black PR companies, Teresa, that are of scale, that themselves are $2 and $3 and $4 and $500 million in annual billing. All of a sudden, folk, and this is only media, we could literally change the game. So imagine if that now happens in media, in law, in engineering, in every field. That's how we change America. And that's why this fight ain't just about me. Mustafa, go ahead.
No, I mean, everybody's done unpacked it. I wrote this piece on the pimping of Black America. And, we get pimped in so many different ways. We get pimped by, we pay taxes, then those tax dollars never come back to us. And we talked about a little bit before about these are your tax dollars. They should be going back to Black businesses and Black sets of opportunities. But if we don't realize, one, that we're getting pimped, and 2, that we're willing to do something about it, you're going to continue to get pimped. If you know a pimp on the street, he ain't trying to do anything to put you in a better situation than to keep you, with the same mentality, having to come back time and time again to him or maybe her, so that they can continue to benefit off of folks. The other part of it is that Biggie gave us the framework to operate from. He said money, power, respect. And that's exactly the formula that works inside of our country. So if we know that there are literally hundreds of billions of dollars that are out there, and if we are not willing to fight and push to make sure that that happens, then we can never get to true power in this country. Now, yes, there is power in people, and I respect that. I come from that movement. But at the same time, we want to change the dynamics that are happening in our communities, then we got to make sure that we are understanding that we have to have the resources to build that infrastructure so that everybody wins.
And last point I'm going to make on this here, and I'm just being real clear because I got another guest who's waiting, but this is my last point on this here, and this is what I need people to understand. The battle that we are in, we don't need civil rights groups negotiating for us. What we need are civil rights groups standing with us. Not in front of us, standing with us. Because see, y'all heard me talk about this 2 weeks ago. White America loves to give Black folks philanthropy, but not investment. They built their own museum in Tulsa to make money off of the massacre. DeMario, how much did the museum cost?
They raised $30 million off the backs and stories of the destruction.
Listen, y'all, they wouldn't give them $30 million, but they spent $30 million on a museum. That's philanthropy. That's Tulsa trying to create a tourist attraction to get black folks to visit Tulsa. That's what they did. That's philanthropy. I'm trying to get us to understand when we have investment, then we don't need their philanthropy because we can actually contribute on our own. So when I give y'all the marching orders, I need you to call. I need you to tweet. I need you to email. I need you to light folks up. We're going to be starting something very soon. It's called the George Floyd Accountability Project. And we're going to name check every company that announced they were going to spend money with black organizations in black America, and we're going to be demanding an audit of every company to know where did the money go, what did they spend, and we're going to be asking what are they doing internally in these companies when it comes to black-owned businesses. Because what I'm not going to do is be silent as folks pimp black people in the wake of George Floyd's death and then turn around and don't invest in black people. Y'all gonna know more about that, but I'm telling y'all, for all y'all corporations, y'all are on notice because your name is going to get called. If you put that on your Instagram page or you send a press release out, we coming for you. And the federal government, Biden, I've been patient. I met with y'all on February 16, 2021. Still waiting 13 months later. I ain't waiting no more. Y'all gonna get calls too. Don't come ask for votes and you don't show up with the money. What Malcolm said, what Denzel say playing Malcolm in Malcolm X, I'm not satisfied. And I'm not satisfied. I wasn't satisfied under Trump. I wasn't satisfied under Obama. I wasn't satisfied under Bush. I wasn't satisfied under Clinton. I wasn't satisfied under Bush. I wasn't satisfied under Reagan. I wasn't satisfied under Carter. Wasn't satisfied under Ford. Wasn't satisfied under Nixon. And I was born the month Nixon got elected. I was born a week after the election. But now I got my own platform with my own voice, and nobody but God controls it. Y'all are going to hear from us.
You got something better than your own platform. You got all of you as people that support you.
Right. No, what I'm saying is that's how we're going to use it. We're going to use it, and we're going to deploy it. I'm putting everybody on notice. You are going to have to answer to how you spent the money and where you spent the money and who you spent the money to. We are going to ask it, and we're going to put it out to the public and let the public know what you did with it or what you didn't do with it. My suggestion is time for you to do right, or you're going to see what's going to happen. Folks, back to that Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment.
Time to be smart.
Roland Martin's doing this every day.
Oh, no punches! Thank you, Roland Martin, for always giving voice
to the issues.
Look for Roland Martin in the whirlwind, to quote Marcus Garvey again.
The video looks phenomenal, so I'm really excited to see it on my big screen.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
I got to defer to the brilliance of Dr. Carr and to the brilliance of the Black Star Network.
I am Roland with Roland all the way. Honored to be on a show that you own. A black man owns the show.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
I'm real revolutionary right now. Like, wow, Roland was amazing on there.
Stay black. I love y'all.
I can't commend you enough about this platform that you've created for us to be able to share who we are, what we're doing in the world, and the impact that we're having.
Let's be smart. Bring your eyeballs home.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared. You dig?